Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to our special meeting. It is Monday, April 7th. The time is 6 p.m. Madam Secretary for roll call.
Come on,
Here.
Laster,
Present.
Davis,
Here.
Rogers, McCarthy,
Tardy.
Kennard,
Tardy.
and Piles.
Excuse. Can we stand for the pledge?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Or not the acceptance of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the April 7th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Laster,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
come on,
Yes.
Rogers is yes, motion passes.
Thank you. We're not public comment.
None.
Seeing none, moving forward to our presentation. We have a bond presentation being presented by Dr. Edmondson, Kevin Brock, the great Jason Perkins, and Adam Dennison. Y'all already know the routine.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's going to be hard to be able to do both of these here. All right. I don't know, can you all hear me? So as I try to make sure that everybody knows, when you're doing a presentation, the presentation is for the board. Okay, you are the audience, but it's for the board. So most of the time I will be looking at them, and it's no offense. You are more than welcome. Well, excuse me, and you are more than welcome to ask any questions that you may have. A few things that you should know. First of all, thank you for everybody that's out here, and thank you for the board. We have before us a great opportunity. To me, it's very exciting to go out for a bond initiative. A few things that I want to say beforehand is, when you get a superintendent, and sometimes I hear some things in the community here, but when you get a superintendent that's experienced, it makes these things a lot easier for the community, okay? When you have a team that's experienced and have been in other districts and may have been here, the same thing. They may have been through this, so they understand. The beauty of this is that my team understands how this works. This is complex for a lot of people to understand. That the average person, it's hard to understand because you're not connected to the school district, so you don't understand. A lot of misinformation flies out. Whenever you do a bond, the first thing that anybody says is, thank you, Sammy. How much are my taxes going to go up? The beautiful thing is that the taxes do not go up, okay? They go down, and I will explain all that. But that's the first thing that you have to deal with. It's the first thing that you have to counter. Second thing is you have to convince the community that their property value is tied into their schools. So when people say, I'm not going to do this for Mike, I'm not going to go out, that's fine. You don't have to. But then don't complain that your property is not having the value that you want it to have, because your property value is absolutely tied into your school district. People need to know that. Third, for me today, and when I go out into the community, because May 12th, I'm going to leave this board meeting, and me and, I laugh, somebody calls us like the boy band. It's kind of funny, but it's not. Okay, but we're going to leave here. We're going to go to the city council, and I'm going to present with my team because it's important to get information out. Also, there will be a committee. There are some people in the community that I've already, with whom I've spoken, and we will coalesce, get together, and then we're going to go out in the community, and I will go out to different houses. I'll go out to various communities because it's not just Romulus. We do have some other communities. We have Inkster, Westland, so we'll be out there, and I'll be going over this information. So what I tried to do, the board, you all did not ask me to do this, okay? You have an experienced superintendent who knows I need to get this done sooner than later. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need the community's help to get out here and push this message because a whole lot is riding on it. A bond is about, particularly it's about infrastructure, and I will explain all that, but it's about infrastructure to keep your district moving, to keep your community moving. So anybody that ever says that they are not going to support their community or their schools, I won't, because we're on TV, and I'm not going to say what I think. But definitely, you should support your school district. You can ask all kinds of questions, but you should support it because it has everything to do tied into your property value. So without further ado, I will get started with the team. I will let them introduce themselves to the community because I don't want to assume that you know who they are.
My name is Kevin Brock. I'm the Director of Human Resources, and I guess I'm a part of the boy band tonight. Although this morning, I didn't make the cut this morning, but I did make it this afternoon. So now I'm a part of the boy band.
Jason Perkins, Director of Operations. I'm in charge of maintenance, custodial, and transportation for the district.
Good evening. Adam Dennison, and I am the Director of Integrated Technology.
Very good. So that's the team that's going out here. If you notice, we're not talking about instruction. You didn't see anybody talking about instruction because a bond really does not have anything to do internally with your instruction department. So this campaign I named Gains That Sustain. It's going to be difficult. I should have had a lapel. Where's the Director of Technology? Yeah, I should have had a lapel. Gains That Sustain is the 2025 RCS bond campaign, which will occur Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. What I want to prepare you in advance, whenever you have a special meeting, the numbers are lower. People that come out, it's always lower. So you have to expect that. I'm going to show you some historical information, but understand it's going to be lower. So it's really usually a fight. Those who know will come out. Those who are against you are definitely going to come out. Let's go. Now, I'm going to explain some things, and this is for everyone, okay? I'm going to go around for the Board of Education to know. I'm going to board staff meetings, and I have to explain this because they have to understand. Campaign finance rules. These are the rules. You have to follow them. It's the law. You mess up, there's a penalty that you can pay. So we went over this earlier today, and I feel the need to go over the bullet points. Sorry that you have to read them or you feel that I might be going too slow. School districts may provide factual information to voters, okay, such as how bond or millage revenues will be spent, trustee, estimates of the increase in taxes for voters. We can provide this information via a district-owned website, our own, community meetings or forums, mass mailings, advertisements, robocalls, flyers to parents, newsletters, social media. We can do that. Employees can advocate for or against the vote on their own time and with their own resources. They may not do it on school time, school property. Can't do it, okay? But they can advocate for or against on their own time, okay? So after school hours, sure, they can do it, no problem, with their own resources. They can't send out an email from our district saying to the community to vote. Can't do that because you're using district resources. We may allow members of the public to make comments during public comment period of board meetings for or against. So people can come up here and vote, say they're going to vote no. That's anybody's choice. They're allowed to do that. We can't shut them down. For or against. Okay, this is a lot. Trying to do all this. This, change the slide, pointer, microphone. It's a lot going on. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. School districts may also, the Board of Education may adopt resolutions for or against the vote. I know you're not going to do it against, but you can do it, adopt a resolution in support. Board members and the superintendent, this is extremely important here, can advocate for or against in public, but district resources cannot be used to distribute those views. So I can't send out something on our district website saying vote for it. Can't do it. That's district resources. I can't. But if there's a third party that wants to, financially pay for something, I can say something there because they're paying for it. So I can say yes, vote yes, and they paid for it, not the school district. We can also identify the district as the source of information in printed materials. So you have to say who paid for it. No matter what, if I send something out, it has to say where it came from, okay? So those are the basic rules there. The may not part. And all of our staff members are responsible for this. I sent them out something today, and I said, listen, whether you come out today or not, you are responsible for knowing what the law says on this one. We cannot use district-owned property, including cell phones, laptops, social media, and emails to advocate for or against the vote. Kind of said that already. Provide supplies or services to a ballot committee. Can't do that. Solicit directly for or against a ballot proposal. Can't do that. Develop and provide to a ballot committee a list of supporters or opponents, and there will be a ballot committee. I'm going to let you know. I already said it earlier. There is one. There are people that want to support the district. They will support it. There's just certain things I can't do. Allow employees during work hours to campaign for or against the vote. Can't lease district space to a ballot committee for a phone bank. That shows how old this is. It's no longer a phone bank. I don't think anybody's going to do that. They might, or similar operations. Cannot expressly vote for or against the vote. Examples include the following. Can't say vote for, can't say support, can't say cast your ballot for, vote against, defeat, or reject. So our district marquees, we can say vote. We can say vote, millage, vote, or gains that sustain, vote, but can't say vote for, okay? Or reject or cast your ballot for, can't do any of that. Link from the district's website to websites that expressly support or oppose the vote. So Adam is our director of technology. He's not going to link something from ours to go to somewhere else and say, here's the ballot committee. Can't do that. Allow employees to wear on district time buttons or clothing saying vote yes or vote no or similar words. Sandy used to work for the school district. She can, now that she doesn't work for the district, she can absolutely put vote yes. She says vote no, I'm going to have to send her out off to the side and across the street. Just kidding there. And we cannot disseminate campaign literature at school buildings, okay? We can't, but a committee can. I've said this before, truth plus transparency equals trust. When you tell the truth and you're transparent about it, people trust you. It doesn't matter what you say as long as it's truthful and it's transparent. So in my role, I'm going to tell you the truth, period. Doesn't matter how it comes out, but you're going to get the truth from me and transparency, because I believe that creates trust. So let's talk a little bit about truth. This is really interesting. There is no state funding for school infrastructure in Michigan. Schools can use their existing funds to pay for these building upgrades, but this takes away money from the classroom and students. Thus, districts turn to bond campaigns to address aging buildings and infrastructure. The important thing when I explain this today is it's the infrastructure. Every school community has to go out for a bond. Every one of us does. So nobody should say, oh, it's just Romulus, they keep asking us. We don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Then you take that, man. It's just too much going on. Okay. You don't have a choice. So we have to go out and ask. Okay, and I'll show you how we have asked before. But every community has to do it because the state doesn't give you funding for your infrastructure. There was just a study that was done last year for all of us superintendents. They went around to all districts and they looked at the infrastructure and said, in Michigan, the infrastructure of school districts is poor. It's poor across the board. And that's why you're seeing $150 million bonds, $300 million bonds, $500,000, and in Ann Arbor, they did $1 billion because the infrastructure is so bad. But then you'll have people in the community say, I'm not going to support it. Well, where else does a school district go? We have $4 million in our fund equity. Oh, we could take our little $4 million out and put it into something, and we can't even fix the sidewalks, can we? The parking lots for $4 million, it costs more than that, correct? $11 million. Can't even do it. We could try, but then there's nothing left for students. Schools can request voters to support taxes for bonds and sinking funds. So bonds, when I'm talking about bond campaign, it's basically borrowing money and paying back the loans with interest and fees. Many of us have done that with credit cards or anything else. It's not a bond, but you understand the principle. Sinking fund, we have a sinking fund. Sinking funds are pay-as-you-go savings account for specific purposes. We raise money in this district. We get about $3.9, almost $4 million a year now for our 10-year sinking fund, which will end in 2028. Now, for Sandy and all your friends and anybody else here, pursuant to state law, expenditures on bond proceeds must be audited, and the proceeds cannot be used for repair or maintenance costs, teacher, administrator, or employee salaries, including the superintendent, or other operating expenses. A bond is about your infrastructure. So if anybody says, well, these people are getting paid to, don't get it confused. It's totally different. You don't go to a bond and ask for that. That's where when you do salaries, that comes from a whole different bucket, and it's not that. Next. My pledge to this community, I call it the RCS Overhaul Promise. Let's see if you all, some of you should get this, right? I put it in there to see how you got it. 2020 to 2021. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hit that, Adam? I'll let you go. I'll just let you fix that there. That's why we get this guy around. Could you turn that? We're a page ahead now. Let's go back. Okay, there we go. 2020 to 2021. Then we skipped a year. 2022 is gone. Oh, what do you know? 2023 to present. So I think you all understand that. This is my overhaul promise to this community. There's reasons to move a district forward. One, a school district must make the students the priority, period. Okay, that's my promise to this district. We make kids the priority, that we are consistent, that we are responsible with taxpayer money, that we do what we say we're gonna do, that we collaborate with the City of Romulus leadership, that we are visible and accessible, that you tell the truth, be transparent, upkeep and update, impact lives, set expectations for all, not just for kids, for all. That means staff included. Market the RCS brand. I'm talking to kids about what is our brand? And I told them they got to help me change the brand. I want to change the brand, and we need to do it together. Provide a compelling vision, make leadership matter, evidence of positive morale and growth, prioritize stability, show examples of progress, and be relevant in the hometown. We do this, you have the support of your community. And that's what I will do as the superintendent, and I try to make this the focus, as well as my team and every employee in here. Moving right along. This is the RCS brand. It has changed since many of you remember, but this is our brand. Our logos are consistent. Everything that we do with consistency. Your brand, just like Nike or Adidas, they don't change. Your brand need not change unless you're doing an overhaul. We've already done the overhaul. This is the brand. These are our schools. This is our cadre of properties here. As you can see, the only thing that we're really missing is Merriman is not on there, which is still for sale. We're in, what do you call that? We are in a, thank you. Well, it's not even negotiation. We're about to finish. And we're missing Mount Pleasant, okay? And we'll explain those in a minute. Now, let's talk about some good things. Progress. Without doing a bond, we're going to show you some of the things that we've been able to do in the last 3 years since 2020 to move the district forward without asking taxpayers for anything additional for these properties, okay? Those were done prior to that. That's the front of the high school. You can see what it looks like, how we've marketed that with the eagle. And if you look at the trash can, that's the old R. So that needs to be changed because that was today. So that R is going to be gone. That's the old R. Next. Let's go through. Self-defense room for girls. Girls self-defense room out of our high school. Same thing. That's what it looks like. Weight room. That's our weight room. That's across from our gymnasium. You'll see a couple more pictures of our weight room. Everything is, if you go back just a page, just one, you can see that we have that this is branding. Everything that we do is branding. It is consistent, everything that we do here. Next. Keep going. Same thing. New football field. We've done that since I came in 2020. Same thing. New track. Never overspent. This is our cafeteria. We've put $500,000 into our cafeteria so that it looks modern. It looks really modern. There you go. That's the high school. High school. Middle school. This is our media center at the middle school. Looks great, doesn't it? That looks great. Oh, snuck that in there, baby. Give me some of that. Snuck that in there. That's our esports room. And we have 2 students, coincidentally, that are freshmen, are going to the States in Fortnite. 2 freshmen, esports, electronic gaming. Yeah, first year, first season. Thanks to this guy, brought this. Our director of technology came with a little something here. That's why we hired him. Moving on. And then there's this. This is the thing. These are the things that a bond is going to help us do. Going to fix the bathrooms. That's dated. Next, we just run through that. I don't have to explain where that is. That either. That one either. That's our gym at the high school. You can see that panel's out, needs to be fixed. Some of our ceiling tiles, terrible, but we're getting there. Tennis. I'm a tennis player. That just destroys me there, but that's okay. It's cracked, you see that? Another bathroom, but the cracked tennis courts, people don't even use those anymore. Bathrooms, dated. Bathrooms, look at that shower. Not that anybody does it. Hey, you're the athletic director. What is that? Come on now, you're the athletic director. Look, what? You ought to be knocking on our door telling us to fix that. Next. This is the press box. We showed you the great football field, correct? This accompanies that. How wonderful. It's like fool's gold. Oh, yeah. And same thing. You can see that. That's the press box. We're going to fix that. I'm fixed it. Now, let's get to here. This is the enrollment since 2021. I'm proud of that chart, believe it or not, because those of you that remember, this district has been through a whole lot in the last 3 years. The beauty for me at what we have now is what I'm seeing is stability. We've mitigated some of the losses. We lost a total of 15 kids this year. 15, that's huge. That's great. When you're forecasting, you expect 100. We usually do 100, 150. Kind of mitigated that, but I always get scared. I mean, I'm always scared in September, see who's here and who's not. So we've done a really good job in terms of that. Whatever we're doing seems to be going okay, but it'd really be nice to see us going up. But I will share this with the community. In a study, it's projected that Romulus will lose 18% of our students in the next 5 years. It's not just here, it's the entire state of Michigan. Families are leaving and the birth rates are down. So not just here, but I think about 18% when you have 1,900 kids choosing who live in Romulus and are going somewhere else. We have a chance to change that drastically. But if your brand is not right, people are not coming. They're not going to come until we make some changes, not only internally, but some of the families and the decisions that they make in their house. That's how we'll be able to turn it around. Do not look at me, just me. It's not just me. It's not the board. We've got to make some changes internally. Isn't that right, Maria Scott? You deal with this every day. That's our enrollment. If you were to look at our ethnicity in the school district, if I told you that 71% of the students in any district were African American, what would you say? Would you say it's a black district? Generally speaking, you would say that. We are primarily African American, with 17, almost 18% that's white. That's been very consistent across the board. Now, I will share with you, the city of Romulus, 50-50, 50% white, 50% black. But in the school district, 70% black, 20% white. So that tells you that's something going on. I don't need to have that conversation, but if you want to have it offline, I'll be glad to tell you what I think is going on. Next. And that's it, meaning, going back to that last slide, it is what it is. Let's just keep moving. It doesn't matter. The expectations should remain high no matter what student is in there. The expectations have to be high. Local revenues, local taxes make up 41% of the budget. State funding, 47%. Federal funding, 12%. I'm here to tell everybody not to get very, very nervous about what's happening federally. Yes, it would impact us. 12%, we'd have to do something. But there are a whole lot of districts that are in far worse, it's not far worse shape. They're depending on federal funding more so. So we would figure out if we had to make some changes, we would. Expenditures, you can see it for instruction, 68.5, support services, 30%, and then other expenses, 600,000, 1.5%. Moving on. 80% of Romulus tax base is commercial and industrial. So I think everybody understands what that means, that most of the city is about, the taxes come from these big companies. And I said, one of the things that I want to do as a superintendent is we need to be tapping in here. We have an internship program. If I told you that we have a wonderful opportunity for kids, but only 3 of them took advantage. 3. Mr. Edwards, 3. When we have an internship program, every student should have an internship in the city. But kids have got to want it too. It's not just us, they've got to want it. 20% of Romulus tax base is residential. Now, very important to people. In 1999, the district went out and they asked for a couple of things. I don't want to explain what all these proposals are, But I mentioned sinking fund. I was here for the operating millage. And operating millage, you have to go back and renew all the time. But you can see, if we look from 1999 all the way to 2021, we haven't really gone out that much. I mean, we really have not gone out for much. This is just a renewal here, operating millage proposal. It was a renewal. Okay, but we haven't really gone out to ask for anything. But you can see on many, it's a close one. It's close in this community, or it has been. Okay, from here, I don't know about here so much, but it's still rather close. Okay, so I fully anticipate that this one might be close too. I'd be a fool not to think that. It might be close, but it really comes down to educating your community. I'm going to be out there. I can promise you that. I'm going to be out there, and this is what I said. I was telling my dad today in the board and to the community. I get paid well. People tell me all the time, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do get paid well, but I also get paid to lose sleep. I get paid to make the tough decisions. That's what you pay me for. I get paid to work 24/7. I get paid to be out in the community and spread this kind of love and joy to the community. So if you think people get paid well, that's nice. But I get paid to do my job, and I get paid to make the tough decisions. And I will continue to do that as long as the Board of Education wants me. I will do that. I will make the tough decisions. So I'm going to be out there pushing this when I know that potentially it's going to be close. Potentially. But I need the community to understand what we're doing first. Before you say no, you need to understand and be educated. Then you can say no. Now, this obviously is clearly nobody caught that? That's clearly a typo. That came from the city. The city sent that to me. I didn't do that. They sent that. I'll have them fix it. But last I checked, that didn't happen yet, did it? I'm just saying, 2027? Just saying. So you can see how close it was. That's the whole point, that we've had some close things. But in the grand scheme of things, the district has not gone out. The last bond that the district went out for was 25 years ago. That's why taxes are going down, because the last one was 25 years ago. If I say to the community, well, we haven't gone out really to ask you for anything big like this for 25 years, and we've kept this district moving forward without having to go and beg you for something that's that big. Sinking fund is far less than a bond. Moving on, and then I think I'll be ready to turn this over. Successes in our rearview mirror, I'm not going to go over those because it's in the rearview mirror. It's already happened. But we're riding on still some of the successes, and the community seems to appreciate some of the good things and recognize some of the things that we are doing for our students. Next. These are some of the great things that we have done while, not even when I was here, a little bit before that too, but sinking funds, ESSER funds that came from COVID, and cafeteria fund. You make money off of your cafeteria. People don't know that. You make a lot of money off of your cafeteria, and if you don't spend it, the state takes it back. So you have to spend it. We're on the hook for, Jay, is it $367,000 we have to spend? We have to spend $367,000. Thanks to our food service. So we're able to do some of these things. I'm not going to read them, but these are some of the things that we have done since 2018 and 2020 on using funds never overspent in this district. Not one time have we overspent. Okay. So these are some of the things that we've been able to do that you've been able to see that make our district look like we're at least keeping up. All right. This is what it looks like. So when we go out for this bond, it's 3 series of 2 years each. So we will be done in 6 years. We won't be done paying in 6 years because it's just like having a credit card. You don't pay it off in time, you got to pay in 25 years. This will be paid off. But if you look, Series 1, that will occur 2025. If we pass it, we're getting started. These are the things. The Series 1 will go from 2025 to 2028. That's what every school is well, each one of our properties. Okay, if it has an X, that means it's not, we should know that, but if it has an X, that means it's not happening Series 1. Then you go to Series 2, 2027 to 2029. Same thing, and I'm sorry that you don't have, we're talking about changing this boardroom so it works for the Board of Education, because it's really a struggle for you, as I understand. And then there's Series 3, but we'll be done. And then you can get an idea what we're doing for each school or how much it's cost. We're going to go into, in about 2 seconds, what the schools are getting and what everybody else is getting. Here, as you can see, Mount Pleasant, that's the demolition of Mount Pleasant. We need to do that for the community. okay? And not just knock it down, but you have to have an idea what you're going to do with it. Now, for the board, you're probably not going to be here when this happens, but for everybody else, Superintendency 101, you never knock a building down or close a building if you don't know what you're going to do with it, because it becomes an eyesore to the community, and then they turn on you. They will turn on, and they deserve to turn on you. Who closes something and not know what they're going to do with it? So I can tell you, and I will tell you what we're going to do with if we knock it down. We have some plans. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but at least I can tell you what the plan is. Let's move on for a total of, drum roll. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Get a little audience help. Move on. Let's see if the total is there. It isn't. So now we get into our technology upgrades, which is a part of that, and I turn it over to Adam, who doesn't lose sleep.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson.
You're welcome.
As you just saw, the majority of the bond will be in 3 phases. Technology is going to run in 2. So the phase 1, we're going to look at safety and security infrastructure. Then phase 2, we'll tackle instruction. And the reason for that is you always want to have a good foundation before you start building your walls on your house, right? So you want to make sure that the infrastructure, the background is solid before you start adding all of your bells and whistles. So part of phase 1 will be bells, PAs, clocks, classrooms, audio system. That will be district-wide. Every classroom will have an audio system that will link to the PAs, clocks. Teachers will be able to have a lanyard-style mic with a panic button on it. We have security camera expansion. We've got a lot of blind spots. We've got some old cameras. Cell phone boosters. What's that? My apologies. Cell phone boosters. I don't know if anybody's ever been in the middle school when they lose power and they try to make a phone call. You can't get any cell signal, right? So these cell phone boosters will allow anybody with any carrier, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, pick your poison, it will allow you to get a signal out of the building, okay? When I first started here, I did try to tackle this, and it was very extensive, and it was per carrier. You know, T-Mobile offered something, AT&T offered something. It was a much bigger expense than what I thought. Access control upgrades. Just your badge, just swipe it in. We're going to add more doors, and we're also going to link that to the alarm system as well. So if somebody comes in early, they badge in, and then that will automatically disarm the building instead of having to go run to the panel. You know, the same thing when you leave the building, right? You can there are ways to swipe your badge on the panel itself that will automatically arm the building, so you're not memorizing codes. There's a lot of upgrades that can go hand in hand with that. Automated lockdown system, talking about panic buttons in every classroom. So you can go on a lockdown right from a classroom, right from any room in the school district. New exterior intercoms, middle school already has one of these, but we will be implementing them on the rest of the buildings. These are what you would call a big ring camera, right? When a visitor comes in or a parent comes in, hit the doorbell, video comes up for the secretary to see, to let them in or not let them in. With the new systems, we can put those cameras right. We can put those cameras right into our Vigilon security camera system and watch them all the time, not just when somebody hits that button. Network switch expansion. So I know a lot of people are not going to know what that is. So I'll do the best to explain it the best that I can. Every network device, whether it's a teacher, desktop computer, a phone, the Wi-Fi access points up there or in every single classroom. It gives us Wi-Fi for students to be able to use Wi-Fi for Chromebooks. They all have to plug into a switch in a closet somewhere. Well, they're all full, so there's no room for expansion. Part of this part of this bond is to add more network devices. All that Bell system, the PA system, the classroom audio, those all require more ports and network switches. So we've got to throw more switches at it. New phone system. So we are E911 compliant. Current system is 9 years old. You can ask Ms. Scott. It's really fun to use. There's no phone book in it, so it's very, very antiquated. Chromebook stations in elementary classrooms. Secondary charging stations. So for students could come in and charge their computers wherever they need to charge them. Pool audio system, elementary gym audio system, middle school gym audio, complete Wi-Fi upgrade. We're getting close. It's been up there 5-6 years, and in technology terms, that's old. It's very old. Mobile board meeting system. So those times that we want to have board meetings in other buildings, it will make things a lot easier for my team to set those up and to even stream those live. We've been recording them. Outdoor digital signage. Everybody has seen the one out in front of the high school. It's a bunch of different squares. Every square is a different color. You know, it's not a good look. So we're going to upgrade those with what it looks more like a full TV. Then we get to the phase 2 in the technology, instructional. Interactive panels, just like this, in every single classroom. Secondary buildings, middle school, high school, you're not going to find one. Maybe one in the home ec room, that's about it. Elementaries do have these, but by the time the bond goes around, the bond monies come, they're going to be old, they're going to be outdated, so we're going to replace them all across the board. Every single classroom will have a brand new interactive board. New PCs and monitors, everybody knows what those are. Playlu gym systems. So in every gym, that's going to be a physical activity along with a learning activity that you can put math games in it. You can put reading games in it, but it promotes the physical activity along with learning. And then we do have just a blanket statement there with classroom technology. That covers a big umbrella. Document cameras, whatever the teacher really wants to use in that classroom, we're going to have money to do. We're going to have money to do so. And of course, last but not least, your one-to-one student device allocation. With ESSER money being gone, we can no longer. I shouldn't say we can no longer. It's going to be much more difficult to purchase Chromebooks for every student, okay? Chromebooks have an expiration date. And when that hits that expiration date, you can no longer use it at the district level, at the school level. It's not, doesn't meet the requirements for state testing. So they've got to be replaced. And with that being said, Mr. Perkins?
Wow, great job, Mr. Dennison. That's a guy who loves technology right there, I'll tell you what. Great job. So now we're going to talk about facilities.
You know how to use that?
Yes. Before I start to talk about the different facility improvements we're going to do throughout the district, I want to just give a shout out to our architect, Arisman Architects. They helped us with the needs assessment to do a very comprehensive, detailed assessment of our facilities and see what each building needs individually. And also just to the team, Dr. Edmondson, Mr. Brock, Mr. Dennison, everybody, we put a lot of work into identifying the needs in this district. So we held meetings, we took walks throughout the buildings on several different occasions. So just thank you to the team. And I think we've identified all the needs throughout the district pretty well. So I thought there was a slide before this though. Okay, sorry. So we did this one just because it's the same thing at all buildings, and I didn't just want to be so repetitive on every single slide, the same things over and over at every building. So this slide here is basically for all buildings, aside from the playgrounds. That's just elementaries, obviously, but parking lots, we know, every building throughout the district, they're all going to get fixed up. They're all in terrible shape. They all need replacement. landscaping and beautifying the exterior of our buildings, just make sure we have that curb appeal and that we can see how wonderful our district is from the exterior of the building. Playgrounds, upgrading them at all of the elementaries. Generators for every building, that's a big one in Romulus. Oh my goodness, how does that affect school, right? How many times have we had no power during the school day in a building down? In Romulus, they're super common, these power outages. So generators for every building, including the administration building. Abatement, that's asbestos removal that would need to be done in every building. Carpet replacement, this is a common one that we're redoing flooring in all the buildings. Window replacement and exterior and interior door replacements. So that would be all buildings. And now we'll go through each building specifically to tell you, again, it's not just, so those things are all buildings, but it's not like that for all the slides. Certain buildings have things based on their needs. Romulus Elementary needs a roof. All the other buildings don't need a roof. So that was done in a way to identify the needs of that particular building. That's also why the dollar amounts are different. You guys might notice, hey, why is Barth getting 10 million and Hale Creek's 9 million? Or because that's the need. That's the need that we've identified. We've done a good job of going through those buildings, identifying the needs and pricing them accordingly. So Barth Elementary's first up. We have stair treads, gym floor, LED lighting. That's the ceiling that's terrible that we're doing at the middle school this summer, hopefully, would be at the elementaries as well. Interior door replacements on there again, I apologize. The millwork, so classroom millwork, that's the old pink salmon colored cabinetry in the classroom that's terrible and extremely dated. That would be replaced. Interior painting, fire suppression system. So these are ones that a lot of folks don't think about, the ones that you don't see. We want that visually outside on the exterior of our buildings, but also the heart of our buildings, right? The boilers, the roofs, things like fire suppressions, fire alarms. So that's all been accounted for. HVAC improvements, exterior lighting fixtures, fire alarm, and furniture upgrades is another one you're going to see on all the buildings. Hale Creek Elementary, we have ceiling, again, that same terrible ceiling, replacing it with new ceiling and LED lighting, interior painting, fire suppression, HVAC improvements, exterior lighting, a fire alarm replacement for that building, furniture upgrades, and the basketball hoops would be replaced. So you guys can stop me if anyone has any questions about the specific repairs. I talk fast when I'm presenting, so feel free to cut me off and stop me if you guys have any questions. Wick Elementary ceiling replacement, LED lighting, again that pink millwork, interior painting, roof drain repair is again one that's specific to this building. It needs it. HVAC improvements, exterior lighting, main electrical distribution, that's another one specific to Wick Elementary that's needed at that building. New fire alarm, basketball hoops again, and furniture upgrades. Moving on. Two, just because it's not in this presentation, I don't want anyone to think that it's not being done. So if, hey, I wanted new that in this building. If I put every single upgrade on here that's being done in the district, it would be a 2-page thick document and we'd be here all night long. I could tell you about all the, so I really just tried to give a good overview of the big things that would be done at each building. So keep that in mind, just because it's not on here doesn't mean it's not getting done. Romulus Elementary, fencing, concrete, roof replacement specific to this building, carpeting, media center ceiling, interior painting, a water heater that's specific to this building, chiller pumps, exhaust fans, LED lighting and controls, fire alarm replacement, and new furniture. Romulus Middle School has a few that are specific to this building, widening the rear service drive. A lot of these were inputs too. We gathered a lot of input. So from the principals, from the administrators, from the teachers, that's where we came up with these things. They said, hey, we need this. They know their buildings better than we do. We gathered that input. Widen rear service drive, exterior lighting. We know that's a big one for the football game and what happened there next to the field where it's all dark. I don't need to talk about what happened there. Replace tennis courts with pickleball. Track storage building is that old building next to the concession stand that looks terrible when you're coming to our beautiful field. Along with the concession building, putting a new face on it, new signage, painting, fixing up the concession building. It's not demoing it, but definitely giving it a facelift. Replacing the football field press box. Dr. E had a picture of that. You guys saw what that looked like up top. That would be demoing that completely and replacing it. Football field video scoreboard. So we have a scoreboard at the football field, but it doesn't really match our field and our track. We want the nicer one like all the other districts have. with the video scoreboard where they could do replays and things like that on the scoreboard. Remove exterior walk-in refrigerator. That's an old abandoned one on the back of the building. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it needs to be demoed or removed. It's an eyesore. Interior doors, stair treads going up the stair where they're all chipped and broken up going up the stairs. Classroom millwork, again, is that pink cabinetry. Interior painting. Toilet partitions, that's the dividers that go between the toilets and that. The dividers would be replaced. Elevator modernization, this is an important one at the middle school. The elevator hasn't been modernized since it was installed. It's in big need of an upgrade. Fire suppression system, HVAC improvements, and fire alarm. Those are the big ones for the middle school. Moving on to the high school. Replace tennis courts with pickleball. Replace both baseball and softball dugouts. They're old, dilapidating. Those would be replaced. Landscaping, exterior painting would be the rest of the building. I've had a lot of comments about that. People have told me for the high school being half painted and the other half doesn't match and looks terrible with the old windows on the side that would all be handled in this bond with the exterior painting and exterior windows. Ceiling and LED lighting, flooring, the old classroom pink millwork, remove and remodel locker rooms, art room remodeling, TV productions room remodel. That's something we want to rejuvenate and bring back to the district, is that TV productions room, remodeling that room, bringing welding again that we couldn't afford with the CTE improvements. That's a big one for me, of bringing welding to Romulus schools. I think we can draw a lot of kids. I think it'd be a great thing. I've heard from the students, they're in favor of it. They want it. So bringing that welding room to the high school. The laundry facility would be for McKinney-Vento folks who would need laundry facilities who may not be able to access them otherwise. We would create a laundry facility where they could enter through the exterior of the building without getting into the building, with a lot of cameras and things like that, a secure entrance where those McKinney-Vento folks could come do laundry. A new water heater replacement, HVAC improvements, fire alarm, furniture upgrades. The high school already has a generator. The generator would be replaced or updated at the high school. It's an old one. RECC, fencing, door lintels, gym flooring, the pink classroom millwork, interior painted, ceiling and LED lighting. A kitchen remodel for this building is needed. HVAC improvements, including adding the Honeywell system. You guys probably don't know, but the Honeywell system was a big investment for this district that was done at all the other buildings besides RECC. So RECC is the last one to add it to for our HVAC controls that would be added to Romulus Early Childhood. Electrical. Right. A door lintel is the concrete piece that goes above the door and spans the width of the doorway. So a lot of those are in need of repair. Electrical distribution system, again, is needed at this building. Exterior lighting, fire alarm, and furniture upgrades for this building. Not a lot at the administration building. We really want to focus the money towards teaching and learning, obviously, but there are a few things here in this building that are safety concerns. There's not a fire alarm in this building, believe it or not. So adding a fire alarm to this building would be a big one. We don't need much here, just enough to be safe. Boiler replacement for this building as well. A lot of the other buildings have had it done. I'm sorry, I'm going wrong way now, but ceiling, flooring, landscaping, a new sign out front, a new marquee here. Dr. Reed has made it very clear that we want a better presence out front on Grant Road here. So kind of freshening up the front of the building and a new marquee for this building. We kind of separated the two between administration and transportation. We look at transportation as another building. So for that particular building, parking lot, I know it was on all buildings, but I left it on this particular slide, and I'll tell you why. Because the parking lot here is huge. It's a massive undertaking. It's a big project, mainly because of the underground storage tanks that are for the fuel underground. Those tanks are at the end of their lifespan, and we're having trouble licensing them every year. The insurance carriers don't want to insure them anymore because they're in such terrible shape. beneath the concrete out there. So not only replacing the parking lot, but those underground storage tanks, replacing them, getting us in compliance, which is a big one and we need it. So concrete underground storage tanks, I already talked about, landscaping, bus garage addition. So when we met with transportation and we identified the needs there, they stated that the transportation building was not quite deep enough, I should say. And so certain buses, they can't pull in there to work on because the buses are too long. So this would be giving the front of the garage a facelift with new garage doors and a new appearance for Grant Road, but also bumping it out just a few feet so that we could now fit those longer buses in there to be able to work on them. So it's an addition, but it's a real small addition. I don't want anyone to think we're gonna build a whole nother bus garage. We're just bumping it out to make it so we're able to work on those larger buses. Exterior windows in that building, they're terrible in the back. They're a security concern. We would replace those windows. Drain improvements in the maintenance pits. This is another kind of compliance and licensing one with the city where they're in terrible shape and need to be updated. Office air conditioning, automatic bus washing system. This is where they can pull in and the wash kind of goes around them. You guys are probably familiar with that for your car where you pull in and they go around you to wash the bus. And last but not least, buses. We didn't want to include a few. I know I presented a plan to the Board of Education for purchasing buses out of the sinking fund every year, and that was kind of our plan moving forward. But we did put about $500,000 in the bond for buses just to ease the stress of that sinking fund a little bit. And last but not least, I can't tell you how many community members have come to me and said, Jason, we need to do something. We need to do something. But without the bond, we can't afford to do anything. It's about $2.1 million. With passing the bond would allow us to hear the community, get that building out of there, along with the environmental removals, parking lot, sidewalk removals. As Dr. E stated, we will have a plan to move forward with beautifying that space or using it for something positive in the community. That plan's not complete yet, but first we have to get this building down, and we promise to the community we will have a plan to move forward with the Mount Pleasant site. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Want that?
Brock, I don't know if you want to be part of this, but let me go back here because I want to thank my team. We went over this earlier today, laughing. We have a lot of fun here, but everybody's about business. We kept going over this here because there's two ways to spell that. So we wanted to make sure that you knew that it can be B-U-S-S-E-S, but it can also be it can also be B-U-S-E-S. So Adam just looked at me and said, who changed it? I just thought it was funny because we had B-U-S-S-E-S and now somebody changed it to B-U-S-E-S, and that was a good conversation today because Google had it both ways and then we're going back and forth as to which one is right.
This way is more common, so I changed it to this way.
All right.
The Google stone.
This is the ask. This is what you are going to see on the ballot. The exact wording is here. That was a process. So Kevin, while he was on vacation, I was there. Our architect was there. Director of Finance was there. Our financial bond, the people that do the bonds for us, was there. I think that was it.
Bond attorney.
Bond attorney was there.
And then the
state.
treasurer.
So we went over this. This was a comprehensive process that you have to go in front of the state. And thus, that's why we're having this special meeting, because time is of the essence. So this would be the exact bond language. Okay. Give you a chance to just look at it, but self-explanatory. There's no tricks there, nothing. The important part is getting people out to vote. Okay. That's what I care about. If they vote no, they vote no. But bottom line is you got to get an educated community. You have to educate your community to think that it's important enough to come out and to dispel all the information. There's going to be tons of people that say, my taxes are too much. No, they're not. And I will explain. So we'll go to the next one. Boom. This is for informational purposes only. It explains exactly, and I believe you'll see it on there. It'll be on the bond too. Excuse me, it'll be on the ballot. This language. It just explains how this works. That once the bonds are in 2025, this year, they get knocked off. They get knocked down. That's exactly what you're borrowing. Okay, you're mills-wise. I know you want to speak, but mills-wise, that's what you're borrowing. And now,
No, a couple of things on this slide. I'm a picture kind of guy. I mean, I did a lot of window licking when I was younger, ate a lot of crayons, but this one is very difficult for me to understand. It's really the next slide that I think helps me best, and it helps me best to describe what we're going to be looking at. So whoever, you got the slide. Sorry.
this is how easy
So,
it is.
so this helps me, for those of us who are graphic people, this really helps me understand. We're currently at 8.25 mils. That's how many mils you're levied. Most communities in the state, most communities are 18 mils, about 18 mils is what you can levy. We are only levying currently 8.25 mils. What we're asking the community to do is soon they're going to fall down to 7 mils
This year, in July.
this year in July. Following that, they're going to fall again to 4.3. What we're asking the community to do is to vote for a 2.7 millage to keep it at 7 total, and it'll be remaining 7 for the next 25 years of the bond issuance. So this really helps me. The language before that is important for people that can read that and understand it, but this graphic really says everything, and it helps me understand what this really should look like for all those of us who have millage or bonds levied against our taxes.
So when the bonds drop off, boom, it goes to 7.0. So again, that's what happens in July.
July.
Okay, the next year, it drops off to 4.3, and this is where the millage kicks in at 2.7. So we're asking you for an additional 2.7. If it doesn't pass, again, truth and transparency. If it doesn't pass, it's 4.3. Okay, 4.3 mils per 1,000. So you would be looking at $430 if your house is valued at $100,000. That's what you're looking for. So when people are saying, I pay so much taxes, $430, okay, versus this, depending on the value of your house, okay? That's how that works. So we're asking the community to, I'm sorry. Let me just press print. Let me just press print. And look at this, him too. Yeah, no, what is this?
Director of Technology.
Let's do slideshow. All right. So this is what we're really asking for, is that the community invest in our schools for an additional, really, it would be $2.70 if your house is worth $100,000. That's what it comes down to. Well, no, for $1,000, for every $1,000. So that's what, $270 if your house is valued at $100,000. It's not difficult to understand when you can see these slides and when you know it. This is our business, so we know how this works. So there is a drop-off, and if it doesn't pass, people are going to be at 430, but we're not going to be able to keep our district moving in terms of the infrastructure and what we shared with you. I'll let Kevin
So a couple of things that the graphics won't show you in this presentation that I think it's important to point out, and Dr. Edmondson had said it early on, that typically bonds don't impact student learning, right? But in this presentation, you did see some new programs. You saw welding. You saw some of the new programs throughout the district. That does impact, not necessarily curriculum, but it impacts the ability for us to draw students in, which would bring more revenue into the district per student if we're able to do that. And I think that's the narrative that we want to try to get out there, that with these improvements, yes, we're going to repair HVAC stuff. We're going to do all of our parking lots, and all of that is important. But I think some of that narrative needs to be shifted and focused on the fact that we're going to add programming. We're going to add things for kids that our kids don't currently have access to. So I think it's important to note, even though bonds typically don't impact you directly in the classroom in terms of curriculum, but it will impact our ability to draw more kids and to provide more opportunity for the kids that are here and moving forward in the future.
This slide is for real, what I'm about to show you. It can happen with or without it can happen with or without your engagement. Okay, we have some alumni from Inkster Public Schools, and this is what I noticed on this one. I was like, wow, Inkster Public Schools, a community committed to excellence. They were committed to excellence and lost their school district. Committed to excellence. It can happen. This isn't here, I don't have this up here to scare anybody. That's not what it's for. But it is to say that it can happen, and it happened right next to us. So you look at the football field, this is where it is currently. And this could happen. So if we had Mount Pleasant, it could look like that. But what I said to the mayor, and I told you, we have a partnership. I told the mayor, hey, when we knock that down, hey, it could be for sale. And that's what I said, for sale. We're not giving anything away. So that we're not giving anything away. Now, if you want to partner with us and you want to make it a soccer field because we want kids to play soccer, or we want to have our community be invested in our properties or something that's fine. But we're not having a company come in here and say, oh, we'll take it off your hands because, no, wrong guy. Wrong guy. I'm not that guy. It's not how this is going to go. But I think it's only fair to the folks that live around there, too. It's a nice area. Mount Pleasant is a nice, attractable area. And as the mayor said to me, we need more rooftops here. And that should be obvious based on that tax base that I showed you. Okay, 80% industrial, 20% residential. They need more rooftops. That's what they say in a city. Cities draw people. They want more rooftops so more people can come to your city. So it's not to scare anybody, but with our school district, if you don't invest, I don't know what's going to happen. Gains that sustain. Gains that sustain. So I want to thank my team in particular for working together today, working over the weekend. Okay, I get paid to work over the weekend. So do you, just in case you don't know that. But when I call you, when you get that call over the weekend, it means time to work. But we really wanted to work hard. The board did not ask us to do this. We feel like it's now time. And if you ever have questions or you want us to come out to the community, I know some of you are really connected in the community, if not all of you. If you can set up a meeting, I'll be glad to come. We'll see about these gentlemen, but I have no problem being the face of this. I will be out there. I feel very comfortable being able to explain this. If you don't, that's okay. If you want to meet with me and you want to feel more comfortable, that's fine too. And that's the same invitation to the community. If anybody has any questions, that's what I'm here for. I can say to vote yes. Other people can't. In my role, the board can. Okay, we can do those things, but we just can't use school resources. Okay, so we can't send out emails and things like that, but I can go around in your neighborhood. And if Maria Scott wants me to come to her house, she's got 7 people that are voting, then you know what? Have me over there. I will absolutely come, and I mean that to this community. I'm accessible. When I talked about a promise to the community on how you overhaul, that's how you do it, by being accessible and being able to explain and to be able to provide a compelling vision. There are a lot of things that we are doing in the school district to move this district forward. It's been stagnant for a while, and that's nobody's fault, okay? But now it stems with leadership. We have the leadership here, not just me, but my cabinet and the Board of Education. We are trying to move the district forward. It's not just about the bond. The bond is a great thing. If we're able to pass that, then we have to really work hard on internally. We got some stuff to do as a family internally to get this district right, because I'm not pleased where we are academically. I'm sure none of us are pleased where we should be. We have some work to do. So thank you. Again, if there's any questions, we will turn this over to the board. We got it done before. It was shorter today than this evening than it was. I figured that would be the case. So I'd like to turn this over to you, President, and let us know if you have any questions.
What's the name of the boy band? You can get back to me. Any questions from the board?
Gains that sustain. See how that one works. Any questions?
Any questions? Going once? Going twice? All right. Thank you. We are now at the report of the superintendent, Dr. Edmondson. Come on down.
I just gave you a couple of things, I think. Okay. So these are just some information that I want you to have as a board. It's our enrollment numbers where you can see where we're drawing people. Ethnicity breakdown. The sheet that you see here, it's about enrollment, enrollment trends. Now just again, I wanted you to know what's going on here. It's just information, again, I feel that you need to have as a board member so that you know what's going on in this district. I'm never going to hide any information from you. Okay, I'm always going to actually give you more information than you probably need. So that's just ethnicity and how we're doing, what the breakdowns are in this district as of March 31st, 2025. You can get a look at our trends. Okay. Here I have addressing student root cause for attendance. In our district, we have, sorry, I'm standing up, I'm not ready to sit down. We have attendance issues here. We still do. We have a chronic attendance problem in this district. A chronic attendance problem in this district. So that means that for us, I believe we have roughly 18%. We'll round it off to 20% of our kids are chronically absent. That means they're missing at least 10% of the school year. So I look at Maria shaking her head yes, because she's the front line. She knows this is true. We've done everything, we have 5 attendance liaisons, and some people have said, do we need all those? We actually need more. I'm not asking for more, but we need more because this is a chronic problem. I will talk to you a little bit about that, not tonight, but just the trends. The trends still remain the same. The trends remain the same, even with the supports. We have a lot of kids who are absent. So when I said 2 minutes ago, internally we have some issues. And it's not the school district can't do it all. I can't be in somebody's house to tell them how to parent. I can't be in somebody's house to tell them that school is important. Okay, but we have to figure out something. Okay, and we have some of the resources. The board has allowed me to utilize those resources to address the problems. Enrollment, if you look at that sheet, it's just the trends over time. I put those in there. I don't know if I put last year. I just wanted to even compare last year to this year. Okay, so take a look at that. Then this sheet, did you get this one too? You all have this one? Okay, this sheet is a third party that just tells us it's an executive projections. That's what you use when you go out for a bond, and you get to see what your average attendance, what your average enrollment will look like. So that gives you the trends if you see what's projected. Now, if you see what's projected, that's a little bit frightening in the next 5 years. But then I tell you, we have 1,900 kids who are choosing to go to a different school district than Romulus. So if you were to ask me, I'd say we have an image problem. An image problem is real. It is real. When you have nearly 2,000 or 2,100 kids on your best day, 2,100, but you have 1,900 that are choicing out. It's a problem. It's a perception problem, and perception is real. So whatever the perception is, we have. But I think that number has gotten a little bit better. 3 years ago, it was 2,000. So now it's 1,900, so I feel better about that. But if we only just captured 10% of those 1,900, where would we be here? We'd be having a little bit of a different story. So I just wanted to share those things so that you're aware. Next week, the mayor is having his State of the City. I sent something out to the community, and I will send it out again. Whether you like me or whether you like the mayor, doesn't bother me, doesn't matter to me. But the State of the City is very important of where this man is trying to take this community, and the State of the City is where I'm trying to take the city. Where I'm trying to take the school district. I'm not going to try to upstage him at all. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes on it. I'm going to be as brief as possible to just shed what we're trying to do here. And I would appreciate your support if you can come out that day. And I'm going to say it again to our families. That place ought to be packed. Our auditorium should be packed for something like that. When it's not just him, it's me too. Between the two of us, we can't pack that place out. So I'm going to just ask for your support. I'm going to send out another robocall to see if we can get our community out there just to see what's going on. I don't really have anything else. I want to thank the Trustee Kennard for going to the Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year. Thank you. I don't want to say that I didn't have to go, but I thank you so much for filling in for me, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. Madam President, thank you for your leadership too, and to the board, thank you for this job. I appreciate it. Have a great time here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Edmondson has an action item. Can someone read it? Don't fight for it. Okay. Don't make me cold call.
Recommended motion. Motion that the Board of Education approves the application for preliminary qualifications of the bonds as presented. Rationale, building and site bond proposal. Shall Romulus Community Schools, Wayne County, Michigan, borrow the sum of not to exceed $153 million and issue its unlimited tax general obligation bonds, therefore, for the purpose of defraying all or part of the cost of erecting, remodeling, or equipping and re-equipping school buildings, including structures, athletic fields, playgrounds, and other facilities or parts of or additions to those facilities, furnishings or refurnishings, new or remodeled school buildings, preparing, developing, and improving sites or parts of sites for school buildings, including structures, athletic fields, playgrounds, and other facilities, purchasing school buses, acquiring, installing, and equipping or re-equipping school buildings for technology. Budget implications is the estimated millage that will be levied for the proposed bonds in the year 2026 under current law is 2.7 mills for a 0 mil net increase over the prior year's levy. The bonds may be outstanding for a maximum of 25 years, exclusive of any refunding. The estimated simple average annual millage anticipated to be required to retire this bond debt is 5.13 mills. The district currently has $23,230,000 of qualified bonds outstanding and 0 of the qualified loans outstanding under the state school board qualifications and loan program. The school district does not expect to borrow from the program to pay debt services on these bonds. The estimated computed millage rate may change based on changes in certain circumstances. The exhibits are attached.
Support.
And motion by Rogers. Thank you. Supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers, yes. Davis?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
Bernard? Yes. Kamal?
Yes.
And Laster?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Before you get into the next motion about the strategic plan, it was a year process. I think most of you know about it. I believe Trustee Kamal may have been the only one that was not on the board, but that was a committee-wide, a community-wide process. Took over a year. We had a former superintendent that ran it. We've come up with a mission statement, a vision statement, and goals for the strategic plan. If you notice, I did not put it up there because I won't put it up there until the board approves it. But it was a very comprehensive process that included teachers, administrators, board members, community members. I can't think of anybody else. But it was a very extensive process. Glad that we got to this point that we can at least look at it. Now I have to memorize it again, like the last one. I have to memorize it, put it out there on letterhead, and absolutely actualize what we say that we're trying to do. All of them are not set in stone. They're just things that we're looking to do in we could quantify in 3 to 5 years, you could say that, or you can review it whenever you'd like to review it. These are the things that I'm going to try to move forward in this district because the community worked collaboratively to move us forward here. So thank you, everybody, for your time on that one.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson. We have an action item.
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approves the Romulus Community Schools Strategic Plan as presented. Rationale, the RCS Steering Committee's primary purpose of this strategic plan is to define the Romulus Community Schools' long-term vision, goals, outline how to achieve them, and guide decision-making and resource allocation to ensure success. No budget implications. Exhibit attached strategic plan.
Support.
Thank you. It's been motioned by Davis, seconded by McCarthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
Kamal?
Yes.
Kennard? Yes. Rogers is yes, and Laster?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right.
Thank you, board, and thank you to the community.
Appreciate you. We are now at the report of the Interim Director of Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development, Mrs. Janelle Edwards, with a TOP update.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
I would like to give you an update this evening on our summer school plans for this upcoming summer. We are pleased to announce that we have been awarded a grant from the Balmer Group to implement the Summer Discovery Learning Program. This is a program for students currently enrolled in Romulus schools for grades K through 8. This program will begin on June 23rd and go for 5 weeks until July 24th. The program will run from 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday. We will be located for elementary, we'll be located at WIC and at the high school. The program has an academic portion and an enrichment portion. So the academics, which consist of ELA and math, will be in the morning at WIC Elementary, and then enrichment will be in the afternoon at the high school. For middle school, the academics, which again will be ELA and mathematics, and enrichment will be at the high school. Enrollment began last week on April 1st, and as of today, we are at 223 students enrolled already. The enrollment can be accessed through our website, as well as we plan to have paper applications in our schools as well. Our leadership team for the elementary summer school program is Mr. David Thompson, and our secondary administrator is Ms. Akua Marshall. The curriculum materials we will be using is, of course, our state standards. Our team we have completed a crosswalk between the state standards for the curriculum materials and the weighted values of the standards that are assessed on this state assessment. We have chosen to use the Lavina curriculum materials. We also will have, although our program is a free program for all of our students, we will also have targeted groups of students as well. For elementary, we will be looking at groups of students who are not at grade level, as evidenced by the NWA, their NWA MAP score. And for our middle school, students that are failing any of their core courses will have to come to summer school. The parents and students will be notified by the principals of the building, and then we will do follow-ups as well to make sure those students get enrolled. For high school is not part of the Summer Discovery Grant, so our high school will be 9th grade through 12th grade. It will be located at the high school, and the times will run from 9 to 1, and our high school program will be credit recovery. So we will have teachers working with those students in recovering those credits that they need to graduate. We have our professional development plan, and our teachers will participate in professional development June 16th through the 18th. And then our team, the 2 administrators and myself, we had the opportunity to attend training for the Summer Discovery Program last week, where we were able to network with other districts that have already implemented the program previously and make those connections and get some suggestions on running the program as well. And enrichment, we are still in the planning phases for enrichment. So far, we do have commitments from Bright Futures, and we are planning on having field trips and then other enrichment opportunities as well. We are excited about the new opportunity of the Summer Discovery Grant this year and this program, and looking forward to implementation. And we will keep you all updated along the way as our plans all come together. Any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Edwards. Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
We are now at the report of board subcommittees. There is an action item. We can start with that.
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approves a first reading of the policy manual and administrative regulation updates as provided by Miller Johnson as presented. Rationale, the Board of Education is committed to maintaining policies that align with current legal requirements, educational best practices, and the evolving needs of our students, staff, and community. The The approval of an updated policy manual is essential for the functioning of the district. By approving the updated policy manual, the board demonstrates its commitment to effective governance, student success, and a well-functioning school district. This approval is a necessary step in ensuring that our policies remain relevant, legally sound, and aligned with the district's mission and goals. No budget implications. Exhibit policy manual and administrative regulations update.
Support.
Been motion by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion?
Yes. So I'd just like to give a little background information. So this time we're doing first reading, which means we just agree that we've read this, we're getting all our questions out right now, and we're not actually passing the policy today. And I believe next board meeting on Monday is when we'll do the second reading, and that's when we will actually pass the policy, and we're only passing the policy section, not the administrative regulations. That falls under the superintendent. So right now, we only have a few updates under 2006, 5014, 6002, 6003, and 6004, and then policy 8002. And those are all the policy updates from Miller Johnson. Just very quickly, 2006 about electronic devices. There's been some discussion in the legislature about electronic devices and possibly some state legislation about restrictions on that. Actually, not 5014, that's for the intermediate school district. 6002 through 6004 are all legally required updates based on recently signed legislation. And then 8002 has to do with the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Thank you, Vice President Davis. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
And Laster.
Yes.
First read is approved.
Thank you so much. Any other board subcommittee announcements or comments?
The curriculum subcommittee will meet this Thursday at 4:30 p.m., April the 10th.
Thank you.
Madam President and Board, the Finance Committee will be meeting tomorrow, April the 8th, and also the Sinking Fund and the facilities will be meeting one day next week.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, I guess we're at me. We can go ahead and, we can someone read my action item? Well, I'm sorry, our action item.
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approves the cancellation of the April 28th, 2025 regular board meeting. Rationale, this cancellation is due to the need of the board to schedule the April 7, 2025 special board meeting, as well as the already scheduled April 14, 2025 regular board meeting.
Support.
It's been motioned by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. I will be brief. Want to send continued prayers to our team member, Debbie Powles. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank Dr. Edmondson and their boy band Gains that sustained in the presentation. Number one hit. And within your presentation, thank you, Jason, for, he gone. For just
Tell them tomorrow.
Yes, for going over all of the things that we need for our buildings and stuff, because I know we talk about parking lots, but it's a lot of other hidden things. You'll hear about it tomorrow. Hidden things that we need to get taken care of. So thank you for that. I want to thank the parents and staff members that participated in my trivia question that went out in my April email, I will be, thanks to Dr. Edmondson, providing Romulus swag. And I do owe some staff members donuts, but I want to thank everybody. I did get a lot of responses. Some did not read the entire email, but I do thank them for their participation. And today I was able to participate. Well, I just jumped on. I saw Eve's email about the advisory council from Corewell Health, and I'm glad that I jumped on. So I was able to be one of 2 people that was on the call, and I was able to make a motion, and we seconded to get their stuff passed. So if we wouldn't have been on there, they wouldn't have been able to do that. So I just challenge people to, when you get those emails, especially parents, if you can, join in, because it essentially helps our students, because they spoke a lot about like mental health, providing like just different things that they do for our students. They even spoke about helping students from the ages of 10 to 21, special education students up to 26. They see everybody. So even if you don't have insurance, you still can be seen for free because they're grant funded. And also they talked about the deductible of your insurance going down. So it's just, I mean, it is a gym that we have in our school, stuff that they spoke about, I didn't know. So it is like if you need physicals to be seen, different things, don't forget about Corewell Health and the things that they do to partnership with our district. So with that being said, thank you guys for coming out. My goal, even with their presentation, was to try to get us out by 7:30, so it looks like we're on track. Maybe, okay. And comments from the rest of the board. Who wants to start? Vice President Davis.
All right, so I just have 2 things. I want to give sincere thanks to the Strategic Planning Committee and my colleagues on the board that served on that committee. Thank you for all your hard work. It's been a long time coming for this strategic plan. And also thank you to all of you that worked on this bond presentation and this future bond campaign. It's about time we keep investing in our buildings. That's it.
Thank you, Vice President. Treasurer McCarthy. Thank you so much. Madam Secretary.
I think my colleague, Vice President Darcel, covered everything. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and actually all the hard work that the team does put forth. Dr. E and his team, thank you all for your hard work. Thank you again. Have a good night.
Trustee Kennard.
I have the same sentiment as the regular board members here pertaining to the information that we received today pertaining to the bond. I think it was very thorough, and it's going to look forward to what we have to do to get the word out, you know, each and every one of us. Also, I would like to, Dr. Edmondson did already alert to the 38th Person of the Year banquet that I attended on his behalf, and the honoree was Mr. Dennis Davidson, and the information on that day was very interesting. They went all the way back to his childhood, and his family was there, and, you know, all the other stakeholders, and in terms of all the lives that he has touched, being a community activist, being a veteran, and upholding some of the things that they recognized him for. And so it was well attended, and they're very happy to see someone from the district, you know, there. And so it was my pleasure of doing that. And thank you for asking me to attend that. And thank you all for attending our meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kennard. Trustee Kamal. Before you go, Dr. Edmondson, I would just like to say, too, to thank Mrs. Edwards for her summer discovery, well, the summer school program. And if you go to RomulusK12.org, boop, you can sign up right there. No, don't need to search. As soon as you go, click there, and it's right accessible. And she also said it's paper applications, but you can do it from your phone, do it from your computer, so we can get our enrollment up, because we do have capacity for more. Thank you.
Thank you. First, to our Treasurer McCarthy, who you got tonight? Houston or Florida? Just
I
asking.
have Florida picked to win it all.
So did I. Okay, so did I. Just so we're
Still
clear.
in mourning from yesterday.
Oh, South Carolina.
To
Okay.
add insult to injury, my husband came home in a great mood when South Carolina was losing. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Y'all.
He bet against Don Staley and South Carolina on FanDuel and won big. I can't believe it.
Well, you do know that
Really?
Dawn Staley is class of 1992, University of Virginia. She was a year behind me. Wonderful person, though. But condolences. But let's go Florida. I picked them. I'm hoping I might be able to win something. To the board, I've said this, I think I scared some people today. I wasn't trying to, but I'm going into my third year next year, and things have to look different for me. Things have to look different for this district. My first 2 years back was all about, for me, bringing stability for a district that I felt was going through terrible instability. So very thankful to have been through that now, and I think that we might be beyond that. I hope so. But for change for there to be change that is sustained, it takes 3 to 5 years. I'm going into my third year. I'm going to encourage you to support me because I'm going to make some tough decisions. I have people scared about, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means I'm going to do what I have to do for kids. That's what that means. I think that the culture and climate needs upheaval in some of our schools, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that that happens. Just means that people are going to have to step up their game a little bit because they need to, okay? Teachers, staff, all of us have to step up our game. There needs to be a sense of urgency that I do not feel, and I think that that starts with me. I'm like, I said the other day, like, how come everybody is, well, I don't want to say it that way. I just said I feel a sense of urgency that I don't feel that everybody else has. But I think part of it is because of my personal and my professional. I mean, today, my dad called me today and I said this. They found me. He said, who? I said, AARP, they sent me a card today. Like, are you kidding me? For 6 years, I've been able to dodge that organization. That's, I think, the Association of Americans, or American Association for Retired People, AARP. When you get a certain age, they come looking for you. So they found me. So I am feeling a sense of urgency just in my career because I'm at the end. When I look at the rearview mirror, there's more years behind me than there are in front of me. So I feel a sense of urgency to get done the things that I need to do before I turn this over. Hopefully you support me, but that I turn this over to somebody else. It needs, in my mind, it has to look a certain way when I do it, and we're not there, and I'm not trying to retire in the next year. But there is urgency. When I look at this bond, you saw that in 6 years, we have a series, 3 series, 6 years. That aligns with me saying goodbye. In 6 years, I'm ready to go. Whether that happens or not, that's where I am right now, but that's what I'd like to do. By 6 years, I hope to be done, retired, and figuring out what I want to do for the remaining time of my life. But I want the school district to be, I've always said this needs to be a destination district, and it's not yet. It takes 3 things, in my opinion. I won't say what they are again, but to be a destination district where families move into this community because of the school district. We're not there. We still have people going out, leaving this community, leaving this district. Some of the things I think that have happened have been self-inflicted wounds, that we can only look at ourselves as some of the things that have happened, some of the decisions that we've made to get to that point. But I'm going to beg you to support me. You pay me to make the tough decisions. You pay me to lose sleep at night. You pay me to work 24 hours a day, and I do. I absolutely do. I love it. But it also comes with making a decision. As I said to other folks, if you are a supervisor and you haven't done what you need to do, then maybe you don't need to be a supervisor. It's not just about the money and the title. That's wonderful. The money and the title is wonderful. But what about the work? The work that you have to do. Okay, you have to make some tough decisions. If folks aren't doing what they're supposed to do, they should know it. They should know it. They should know that they're not doing. What is the standard? So that's what I'm trying to create here is the standard. What is the standard? When you work for our school district, what is the standard? When you walk into those schools, what do you expect? And if you don't see what you're supposed to see, that rests with the principal, ultimately it rests with me. The number one thing that I said to principals, and I have a meeting tomorrow with all of our principals, the number one thing that I want from a leader is presence. That's the number one thing that I want. Do you have a presence? Do people know? And this is what I said, when you're a teacher, when you're absent, do kids, are they upset or are they happy? You want to know if you have presence and you're making a difference? Just ask that question. Were kids celebrating when you were gone, or were they upset that you were gone? The same thing with the principal, same thing with the superintendent. What type of presence do you have? So I'm going to be on some things now. I'm going to be pressing to move this district forward faster with efficiency and expeditiously, and I just ask for your support. It might get a little bit bumpy, but I'm all right with that. It's time to get moving. It's time to move the district further along than we've had before. So thank you again. Thank you to everybody. Hope that you get home safely. And I am honored to work for this district.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn,
Support.
All right,
7:34. All in favor? Oh.
Oh, nobody opposed, huh?
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, that ain't my name. That person don't exist no more. I'm like, that person does not exist. Nope, you can't. It's going up. I'm sitting there like, this person